Hello and welcome to Little Drops of Wonderful. This is my channel where I talk about all things knitting, crochet, creative, making, all of that lovely stuff, and give you a bit of a roundup of everything I've been making and creating over the last few weeks or the last month. I'm Ali and I live in the very southeast of England with my husband, who's downstairs. I think I can hear him clattering about, and our two daughters who are both out with friends, boyfriends and other things. So I've got a bit of quiet time after the lovely but hectic Easter weekend. It's Easter Monday as I'm filming this. It's a rainy day and it's perfect podcast filming weather. I am wearing, by the way, my As If tee, which you've seen quite a few times before. It is a pattern by Shay Johnson, who is knit and crochet, and the design is inspired by one of the outfits that Cher wears in the film Clueless, which is why it's called the As If tee, as if. And I love this. The more I wear it, the more I really love it. This bit does itch me a bit. This is a mohair. So I think if I was to make something like this again, I might see if I could use something with a slightly different fibre content. Sorry, I'm really distracted. So the people opposite have their bathroom at the front of the house. So they have frosted glass, but basically they act as though it's invisibility glass. And there's someone in the bathroom naked having a wash, like a wash at the sink. And you can just see everything. It's like not invisibility glass, people. It's just frosted glass. It doesn't protect the people who live opposite you from seeing and never being able to unsee the things that they see. My eyes. Anyway, I'm going to try not to look over there and hope he finishes shortly. Goodness me. Oh, where was I? Happy April, everybody. It is April. April vlogs are going on at the moment. I'm in the middle of filming daily vlogs every day of April. I will link that underneath. It's over on my other channel, my vlogging channel, which is called This Little Wonderful Life. So I usually launch straight into all of the knitting, crochet and making stuff and tell you what I've finished and works in progress. But I'm actually going to start with a few bits of key things, a few key things to note that I wanted to get out right at the beginning. The first is that the Dodgy Bag MAL, because I've had lots and lots of questions about the details of this. So the Dodgy Bag MAL, which is a sewing make-along for making bags, is going to start on the 1st of May and run until the 4th of June. It's a make-along that I host with Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast. All the links to the chatter thread and the hashtags and everything you need to know are underneath in a description box. And basically we get together and we make bags. We don't worry about perfection, we just give it a go. I've got quite a few sewing tutorials for making these very simple bags on my channel, and I will link those underneath as well. And it's just about having fun with it, not feeling like you need to do something perfectly every time. And I am not in any way a sewer. I've never been taught to sew, but I've been making up how I'm using tutorials for sewing bags, and I get a lot of joy out of it, and I know a lot of you do too. This will be the 4th or 5th year that we've run this make along, and it's always a lot of fun. So if you're interested in joining in, make sure you check out all the details underneath, and the hashtag is on the screen. I think it's Dodgy Bag MAL 23, but the correct one will be on the screen because 9 times out of 10 I will get my own hashtags wrong. And if you want to go and look on Instagram to see what everyone else is up to, you can. Number 2, this episode is number 99. I number my episodes so I can keep track, and so it's easy to link back to episodes if I want to reference something or tell you where to find something. And yeah, this is episode 99. So my next episode in May will be episode 100, which seems very milestoney indeed. I've been doing YouTube in total for over 6 years now, and I've made over 440 videos on this channel alone, let alone my other vlogging channel as well. So there is a lot of videos out there over the past 6 years, and I have loved every single last minute, every last edit, every last comment, all of it. I've loved it. It has been brilliant. And reaching 100 episodes of this knitting and crochet podcast does seem like quite a big milestone. So I wanted to mark it and celebrate it a little bit and do a giveaway as well. So first of all, I wanted to celebrate by saying thank you. I'm going to read this, otherwise I'm going to forget. And I want to shout out to other creators basically in the 100th episode. So other podcasters and other creators and friends online have been so generous in giving me mentions and just generally lifting me up and giving me the chance to do this and being so kind and, you know, sharing my podcast with other people or recommending it, that I want to do the same now as a thank you. So if you have a podcast, a creative podcast of some kind, whether that be knitting, crocheting, floss tube, booktube, sewing, or something else, maybe something else, let me know. I've already put a post up on Instagram and a post up in the community part of this channel. Let me know your name, your channel name, where you are in the world and what your channel is about in a comment underneath or on the community post, or email me if you would like to have a shout out in episode 100, and I will try to mention as many as I possibly can just to keep you posted. He's now got a shirt on. Thank goodness for that. He's obviously had his wash now and he's got dressed. So thanks to all of you that have emailed me already or commented on Instagram or commented on that community post. I will get back to you to acknowledge that, but I'm just going to let them build up a bit and then do it all in one go. And also I've been so waylaid with doing April vlogs, giving myself too much to do as usual, but I will get back to you to acknowledge the fact that you've messaged me. As part of it, I'm going to do a giveaway. So I thought I'd just show you the bits that I've got to give away. I've got 3 things. 2 of them I bought at the East Anglia Yarn Festival. Thank you, by the way, to everyone that liked and commented and watched my East Anglia Yarn Festival vlog. You were really, really lovely with your comments. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. You always seem to enjoy the yarn show vlogs a lot, so it gives me a great excuse to keep going to them. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. So thank you so much for that. But while I was there, I got a couple of prizes. I got one of these amazing packets of minis from Lay Family Yarn. Absolutely stuffed full. I think there's at least 200 grams in here. I haven't weighed it. Of Lay Family yarns, which, you know, are beautiful. So I've got, this will be one prize. And then another prize is this little mini set. They're called Gnome Bundles from Henny Penny Makes. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. And inside the label here, I think there's a link. Can't quite see. There's a link to the pattern for the gnomes that this can be used to make. They're little knitted gnomes. Now I will, whoever wins this, you can then choose your gnome pattern and I will buy you the gnome pattern as well. So that's another prize. And then I've got a bag that was donated for a prize from Lemon Tree Corner. Lovely Heather at Lemon Tree Corner. There's her label. Look at this. Knitting cats. Does it get any better than knitting cats? It's so beautifully made, this bag. It's got box bottom. It's got this lovely little handle. It's drawstring, so no getting things stuck in zips. I don't know why I've decided to come so extreme close up to show you the bag. It's just lovely, and this pink fabric for the bottom is really nice. So this is going to be a prize as well. So that's 3 prizes for my 100 episode. So make sure you come back next time and do let me know if you would like a shout out in the comments as well. I do have another bag from Lemon Tree Corner, but I'm going to share that in my next Christmas jumper update. I'm doing a year-long project where I'm going to be making my own colourwork Christmas jumper. So I'm slightly giving away the bag I've chosen there because Heather sent it to me. It's going to be my Christmas jumper bag for the year. Okay, let's get started then with some finished things. If you've been watching the April vlogs, you would have seen my first finished thing already. I made a cross stitch for my eldest daughter Lilia's 17th birthday. She requested a specific one that she'd seen on Pinterest, so I went and tracked down the pattern and I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a really simple pattern. I enjoyed it. It was quick to do, and she's now got it hanging up in her room, which I've just gone and stolen it basically, and I will put it back afterwards. Let's just hold something behind it so the light doesn't shine through. You can't please everyone. Oh no, it's not that. You can't make everyone happy. You're not tacos. She loved that. She absolutely loves and adores tacos, especially with guacamole. So it's perfect for her. And the pattern, the cross stitch pattern, is by a company called the Folklore Company. And I just literally bought and downloaded the pattern, and then I went to my local Hobbycraft and found all the right coloured yarns. No, that's not the right word. Threads? Yeah, threads. All the right coloured threads for it to make it. And yeah, it was really, really simple. I got the hoop from Hobbycraft as well, but you can buy them as kits, but I just did it myself. Just bought the pattern. So that's my first finished object, and I'm really, really pleased with that because I'm very new to cross stitch and I've still got a lot to learn. So I was quite pleased to be able to do something quite quickly for her birthday. Sorry if I sound really snotty, by the way. My youngest daughter Phoebe has had a really bad cold, and I think I might have caught it. And typical, it's the day that I'm filming a podcast, so sorry if I'm talking a bit like this. My next finished object, I'm almost a little bit embarrassed to show you. It's my first time trying this particular craft. So, okay, here we go. When I went to the East Anglia Yarn Festival, I was completely bewitched by the 2 punch needle stalls that were there, and from one of them I ended up buying a punch needle kit. In fact, I'll put a little bit of video in here because I did film my opening the kit and getting started with it. So I'll put a bit of video in here and I'll either talk over it or I'll just pop a little bit of music so you can see what the kit looked like. So the kit was from Simple Crafted Life, and you get everything you need inside it. You get all the yarn, you get the punch needle tool, you get a hoop for working in, a hoop for finishing your work as well. You get a bit of felt for finishing the back of the work. You get all the instructions you need, a little booklet, and you get 3 different types of size for the punch needles as well. And you get an extra bit of fabric to do practice and an extra bit of yarn to do practice as well. So it was an absolutely brilliant and very complete kit. I was really, really pleased with it. So this is my this is my practice. I kind of want to do more to this because it's so funny. And it seems to be that it's just cotton yarn, and I've got loads of cotton, so I could easily just finish my really quite frightening looking face. I'm going to need to put this on the box. So here's my practice. And only marginally better, here's my finished thing. I should probably show you what it should look like. Hang on. Here we go. Let's do a comparison. So here's the kit. She had lots of different designs, but this is the one I chose. So this is what it should look like, and this is what mine looks like. Can you see how neat the stitches are on there? It's so bad, but I really love it. I just adore it. I think it's the cutest thing. I had so much fun doing it. I love how individual it can be. You follow a certain way of doing it, but you can make it very much your own, and you can play about with it, and it can be very kind of free. I really enjoyed that element of it. There were certain bits where I think I did quite well, certain bits where I did absolutely awful, and I certainly need a lot more practice. Oh, let's move Alice. I didn't make Alice. My friend made this. My little podcasting pal. Let's put it there for the remainder of the podcast. I'll link it all underneath. Everything I talk about is underneath in the show notes if you want to go and have a little look about where I bought things and all the pattern information and everything. And that concludes my finished objects, because I should by rights have a crochet dress to show you. If you've been with me for a while, you will know that this crochet dress has been over a year now in the making, and it is so close to being finished. It's ridiculous. It only needs a bit of elastic, but have I had the time to measure it up on my daughter, who it's for, my eldest daughter, and get the elastic position? No, I haven't. So it will happen, I promise. One day we will see the finished dress, and I'm sorry that today is not that day. Let's distract ourselves and talk about some works in progress, because I have made some really good progress, particularly on my Litmus cowl. Put everything a bit too far away down there. So this is the Litmus cowl, which is a free pattern, or free recipe really, by Jude of Stranded Dye Works. It's living in my absolutely lovely bag that was made for me by a lovely viewer of this podcast called Anne. And I've even got a little chicken keyring on there. That was a gift from my friend Suzanne, who has the Green Lampkin yarn podcast and yarn dyeing business. So it's all been living in here, and it's basically, it's a cowl, but you're knitting a long tube, a long stripy tube. You start with a provisional cast on. I've done a crochet provisional cast on, which sounds terrifying and scary, but as it turns out isn't, and it's really quite easy. So all my stitches are live and held on this piece of acrylic yarn here, and when I'm ready to finish, I will graft the live stitches on this end to the live stitches on that end, which also sounds scary, and I'm not quite sure I know how I'm going to do it just yet, but I'm sure when I get to it, it won't be as scary as it sounds. And I've nearly finished it, because when I finish this grey section, so the last time let's show you the progress I've made. The last time I spoke to you, I put in this stitch marker here, and since then I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 grey sections, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 colour sections. The yarn is all Henny Penny Makes. They're all minis from Henny Penny Makes, and they were a gift from my lovely, lovely friend and a long-time supporter of this podcast, Hilary, in Australia. So I did them in a kind of rough rainbow order, but I completely forgot to put yellow in, even though yellow is my favourite colour. So I've got lots of yellow minis left. So it goes all along like this. And what you can do is you can do any length you want really. And it can go round, you know, just once as a cowl, but I wanted mine to go round twice. So as you can see, it's very rough because I'm trying to hold it closed and put it round. So it goes around my neck really nicely twice with a little bit of a space here, and it is going to be so snug, because of course it's double thickness where it's a tube. I'm really excited about having this finished just in time for summer. It'll be lovely to wear come winter. So that's the Litmus cowl. Really enjoyed this. I would definitely make another one. It's a really great project to have just for those nights or long car journeys when your brain cannot cope with anything else but just going round and round in vanilla knitting. Do I need to say anything else about the Litmus cowl? I should probably say it's all fingering weight that I'm using, and I'm using 2.75mm needles on an 80cm cable. My friend Sarah of the Yarnmugs podcast made a Litmus cowl using DK yarn, and that looked really, really good as well. So I guess you could mix it up with your yarn weights. I'd like to make one that was really lots of bright colours like this, but with black as the contrast. I think that would be really nice. I can't really do that with the yellow ones that I didn't use though, because then it would look like I'd look like a bumblebee, wouldn't I? So the next project that I've made a bit of progress on is my second Violet Waffles hat. So it's living in the same bag as my original Violet Waffles hat, which I talked about as a finished object in the last episode. And I'd made that for my friend way too late, because again, right in time for the warmer weather. It was 16 degrees here yesterday on Easter Sunday. It was lovely. Even I thought it was lovely, and I don't like heat. And I'm using Soy Cotton yarn in Blue Royal. So this is yarn that I bought from Marcia at Yarnsulike at a yarn show. Actually, no, I saw it at Yarn Show, didn't buy it, and then had to message her, and she very kindly let me buy it online and she sent it to me. So that's Marcia at Yarnsulike, and she sells all sort of plant-based, eco-friendly fibres for knitting and crochet. I'm in a bit of a tanglement here. I don't know what's happened. I don't know how I can. Oh, I know how, because I'm holding it double. I'm holding 2 balls double to get the weight that I need, because I think the Violet Waffles hat is a worsted weight or Aran weight, and the Soy Cotton is a DK weight. I think that's right anyway. So this is my second Violet Waffles hat. It's a free pattern. I will link it underneath. Got my little cup of tea there. Isn't it lovely? Look at that blue. Oh, it's so nice. And this yarn is like, it's so different to this one. You can't feel anything. There's not a prickle. It's smooth like butter, as BTS would say. Smooth like butter. Criminal undercover. Don't do that. Don't do that. The girls would be mortified. Yeah, really, really lovely. I can't quite put it on. It's not quite at a stage where I can put it on without pulling it off the needles. But it's such a lovely pattern. So I'm using 3.5 millimeter needles, and I cast on 100 stitches holding the 2 DK yarns double. Did 2x2 rib for a bit, and then I just went straight into the Violet Waffles pattern. Can't remember who the Violet Waffles pattern is by, but I will put it on the screen and it will also be linked underneath. And like I say, it is a free pattern and it's nice and quick. It knits up nice and quick. So I might do a bit of work on this after I finish my Litmus cowl, because I'm determined now to get that done. What other works in progress do I'm only going to talk about the works in progress that I've actually made a bit of progress on. So I'm not going to talk about the pair of socks I've got on the go. They are just vanilla socks, but I'm using Knit Pro Cubics for the first time, which I love. But I've made no progress on them since I spoke about them last time. So I will wait and show you those in the next episode, hopefully. Also the Amma top that I'm making, I do have it here, but I haven't really made more than a couple of rounds progress on it. It's a really simple pattern for a granny square. Oh, sun! The sun has come out. It's been raining all morning. Oh, just been illuminated. What was I saying? Yeah, so the Amma top is basically a pattern for 2 big granny squares which you turn into a top. Really, really simple. My friend Sarah had made one which she wore to a yarn festival and I was admiring it. I've got 2 skeins of this beautiful yarn and I have no idea what it is because I caked up one. It's fingering weight yarn. I'm pretty sure it might be My Mama Knits. I've got another one with the label still on, but I can't remember where I put it. It will be somewhere. I've got to find it because otherwise I won't be finishing this. So one day I'll be able to let you know what the yarn actually is. But I haven't made much progress on that. And that is the Amma top. And again, all the details I would have put on the screen and they'll be underneath. Oh, and I'm using a 3mm tulip hook. This was a lovely gift, this hook. Rel, if you're watching, Rel is, she has a Dabbling Hook podcast. It's really lovely, her podcast. She talks so much about the crochet things she makes. She sells things that she makes at craft fairs. And I think she gets through so much. It's such an inspiring thing to watch because she's so prolific in what she makes. And the crochet things she makes, I always look at them and think, oh, I just love it. Crochet is my absolute first love and I just get a real kick out of seeing all the things that she makes. Anyway, that's a complete aside. She bought me this to try and Rel, I absolutely love it. This is one of my favourite hooks now. I'm going to get some more of those. David. I've got to show you a little bit of progress on David Attenborough, which is my current cross stitch project. So I very recently got, well, at Christmas time really, I did a little mini cross stitch because I did a Skillshare class and really got into it. And then my husband for Christmas bought me a kit that I really, really wanted. It is based on this illustration of David Attenborough by Geeky Little Monkey. And it has been turned into a cross stitch pattern by Hoops and Crosses. And there's her details there. And it's my David Attenborough cross stitch is coming along so well. I've started to add a bit of colour. So what I was going to do, what I have been doing, I don't know why I don't have a needle minder on here. For some reason I don't have a needle minder on here. It's just tucked in there, just move it. So what I was initially doing was just doing the black outline and with the intention of then colouring it in. So I've actually stopped because I've done the black outline entirely for the top half of the pattern. The pattern is divided in top half and bottom half. So I've done the black outline for that first section, and then I decided I was a bit bored of doing just the black outline and I wanted to do a bit of colour. So I am now basically colouring in with thread, and it is so much fun. I get really absorbed in this and really lost in it. Look at how good the shading is on his nose and cheeks. Oh, it's just so clever. I love it so much, and I love that blue for the sky, and oh, I just love it. I'm not going to show you the back. I'm a newbie, so you don't need to know about the back. So yeah, absolutely loving this so much. It's bringing me a lot of joy, and actually looking at it I just want to go and sit and do that now for the rest of the day. Better finish the podcast first. Okay, so the next work in progress is not actually a work in progress. I spoke about it last time as a sort of next work in progress that I want to start. So it's a beautiful yarn that I bought. It's a worsted weight yarn by one of my favourite UK dyers called Third Vault Yarns. Here is her tag. Lola is her name, Third Vault Yarns. And the yarn that I've got is her 100% superwash Falklands Merino base. And the colour is unfathomable. Why can't I say this word? Unfathomable depths. And I wasn't sure of the reference. I know that Lola dyes, a lot of her yarn is comic book, games, geek inspired stuff, and some of those references are sometimes a bit lost on me, and someone commented to say that it's from the game Skyrim. I think that's right. And this is the yarn all caked up. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. It's just lovely. And I've got this pom-pom that I bought to go with it. Isn't that going to look amazing when it's a hat with a pom-pom? And I spoke about a pattern that I'd seen that I was thinking of using, but then I also said I'd quite like to find some free patterns as well. And did you come up trumps? I have a very long list here. So I checked this last week before I started April vlog, so there may be more suggestions that are coming after that. But I'm going to go through all the ones that I'd written down. I was also lucky enough to be given as gifts a couple of patterns on Ravelry as well, so I'm going to tell you about those. And this is going to nicely move us on to my patterns on my radar segment, where I talk about patterns that I've seen, that I'm not making, that might be in my library, that might have been given to me as gifts, or that viewers have recommended. So I'm going to move a little over here to create a little space for pictures. I love doing this section. I just love it. So settle back, get a cup of tea, and we'll just have a look at patterns together and drool over them. I just love it. Okay, so the first one, suggested by Jane W, is the LJM Designs Wave of Hope hat. It's free and it has a matching cowl as well. And then Elena Caffrey mentioned the Tin Can Knits Antler Toque hat, which is also a free pattern. Deb Rubach suggested Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears Angel hat, which is a beautiful one, really good suggestion. All of these are brilliant, by the way. Thank you so much for these suggestions. Lovely Jane Cheesehead, she also suggested the Angel hat, but she also suggested the Bank Head by Susie Gourlay, the Molly hat by Erin Ruth, and the Graham hat by Jennifer Adams, which really made me laugh because our neighbour's called Graham. The Graham hat. Sarah B recommended the Butterfly hat by Sophia Kremin. Carol, Dan's Nana, sent a link for, so this was quite good. So she sent a link for the Daisy Mays hat by Kelly Gaffney. It's really pretty. I really liked it. And she mentioned that there was a code which was Daisy Mays, I'll put it on the screen and I'll put the link underneath as well, but I don't know if that code is still running. It might have run out, but I did manage to use it and get the hat for free. That being said, it is only £3.50, so it's not going to break the bank anyway, and it really is a lovely hat. And then I had a couple of gifts as well. Lovely Jen, who is Boston Jen, she is a designer, and she sent her glass ceiling hat. It's actually designed for a DK yarn, but as she said, you could knit a size down or hold a DK yarn double. So I think that would work as well. Really, really lovely. And lovely Nancy sent me the pattern I actually mentioned. You didn't need to do that. Thank you so much. She said it was too perfect not to knit it with that yarn. And of course that was the Tenny Beanie by Whimsy North, also known as Margaret Staffordshire. Sorry. And she sent that as a thank you for the video. So thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Jen. That was that was just really kind of you both. And I think I am going to go ahead and make the Tenny Beanie by Whimsy North, because it was the one I had my eye on originally, and I think it will just go so well with this yarn, which is actually quite similar in colour to the yarn that was used in the pattern photographs. I also had another couple of pattern gifts as well, and one that I bought, although I can't remember why I bought it. I'm wondering if I might have had a glass of wine and gone sort of drunk shopping on Ravelry or something. But the first gift was this, this is going to be difficult, hang on. She Sells Seashells Mittens by Karen Hubbard, who is hooked, stitched, glued, and Karen herself sent me that pattern. They are beautiful, and I love mittens, and I really want to make more. Like, I'm really enjoying making hats at the moment, and it's making me realise I need to make more of the things that I really enjoy. And mittens is one of those things. I enjoy everything. Who am I kidding? That's my problem, isn't it? That's why I've got so many works in progress. So thank you so much, Karen. That was really, really kind of you. Also, I just wanted to mention, when I was on her Ravelry having a look at all her other patterns as well, she has got the cutest little baby bunny beanie hat. Now, I know we're past Easter now, but does it really need to be Easter for a bunny hat? It was just too cute not to mention. My battery's going, hold on. Have I got that in the right position? Sometimes it moves about a bit when I have to stop and change the battery. Sorry about that. I had another pattern gift sent to me. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before. It is the most gorgeous crochet shawl pattern. It was from lovely, lovely Maureen. Thank you so much, Maureen. It's called Jewel by Elena Fedotova for Malabrigo Book 20. And I thought it was knitted when I first saw it. It's just lovely, really gorgeous. Thank you so much, Maureen. And then, like I said, I bought one, but I can't remember why. I mean, I can see why, it's gorgeous. It's by Leela Bjorn, and it is the Holdra sweater. I'm wondering, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm wondering if I just was feeling like I need that as a challenge, because it just is an amazing crochet pattern, as you can see. I'll put a picture up. So yeah, I bought that for myself. So I just wanted to mention all of those things as well. And now I'm going to have a little chat, a very quick chat with you about Skillshare, who are sponsoring this video. So this video is very... So I start that again. This video is very kindly sponsored by Skillshare, which is much harder to say than you would imagine, apparently. And if you don't know by now, I'm sure you've heard me talk about them a lot of times before, because they have very kindly sponsored a few of my videos over the past year. It is an online learning community with thousands of creative-based classes from every possible creative subject area you can imagine, from graphic design to knitting, from cooking to crochet, from oil painting to doodling. And I have dabbled in so many of those things over the past year. You've seen me learn drawing, doodling for mental health, cooking pasta sauce, needlepoint, and as I mentioned before, I did cross stitch, which got me started on a whole new creative thing that I absolutely love. So it's been a real benefit to me being a member. I've really gained a lot from it. At the moment, Skillshare are really flying the flag for creative careers. So whether that's building on your existing career, whether that's already in a creative industry or not, or maybe learning creative skills to move into other areas, starting a sideline hustle, sideline business if you're maybe retired, or just if you want to start something new on the side to your job, or maybe you're wanting to just move completely. Maybe you're like, I'm fed up with this. I want to move into another direction and go into something more creative for my working life. They're really championing creative careers in that way, and they have loads of really good classes, and the ones that have really attracted me have been the ones that deal with silencing the inner critic. And because trust me, my inner critic is loud, very loud, dealing with things like imposter syndrome and just building your creative confidence. So in the last episode you heard me talk about a class I did called Creative Breakthrough, 8 exercises to power your creativity, confidence and career with Danielle Chrissa, and I made some quite big inner discoveries about my creative life and things that had happened in my past. So if you do want to hear a bit more about that, make sure you go back and watch episode 98, because it really did have quite a profound effect on me. And before that, in the previous episode, I did a class with Eugenia Washington called Confidence for Creatives. So as you can tell, confidence is a real sticking point for me. So if you want to experience all of the creative rabbit holes that Skillshare has to tempt you with, you can for free, because I have a link. And if you, the first 1,000 people that, why can I never do this off the top of my head? I'm going to have to read it. I can never remember it. I would never be an actress. I'd never remember my lines. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description box, and I usually put it in a pinned comment as well, will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I mean, it's not that hard, is it? And honestly, I know that this is a sponsored bit, but I love it. It's well worth it. And if you can get it for free for a month, I would really honestly go for it. Just make sure you read all the small print so you know how to cancel if you want to. So thank you so much Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I am now going to move on to And Finally, which both feels like it's come around very quickly, and also that I have been rambling on for about 4 hours. So I hope it's not been too bad. I always get this kind of end of filming dread that I've just filmed the worst podcast of my life. So if you're still here, thank you. I have a few more things to mention. I'm really excited about this first thing. I have decided, I joked last time about strawberry shortcake make-along, because when I was talking about Skillshare, I was talking about one of my favourite childhood toys, which was strawberry shortcake. And I jokingly said, oh, maybe we should have a make-along, and I'd found some amazing strawberry shortcake patterns on Ravelry, crochet amigurumi patterns, and it kind of stuck in my mind. And when I was at my mum's over the Easter weekend, I went and dug out all of my old strawberry shortcake dolls, and I've decided I am actually going to have a strawberry shortcake themed or inspired make-along in the summer. So it's going to start on the 3rd of July, which is the date that Wimbledon starts. And Wimbledon, of course, for the tennis, has strong strawberry associations, because everybody knows at Wimbledon you have to have your strawberries and cream. So I thought that'd be a really good time to start it. And it's going to end on the 14th of August, because that's when I'm back from my summer holidays. And it'll be perfect because I suffer from summer seasonal affective disorder. I really, really dread and don't enjoy summer at all. I find it a very difficult time, in the same way that those that suffer with seasonal affective disorder in the winter struggle as well. So I thought it'd be a really good way to celebrate summer. So it would help those of us that do suffer with the summer blues, but also allow us all to celebrate summer and everything that's summer and all the good bits of it. And of course strawberries are such a big part of that, especially in England. You know, our British strawberries are just so delicious, and they really scream summer for me, and I thought it'd be a really good theme. So the idea is that anything goes, any craft. You can knit, crochet, sew, stitch, cross stitch, needlepoint, draw, paint, anything that you want. All crafts will be welcome. Whatever you do should be inspired by strawberry shortcake. So strawberries, obviously, but she had a lot of friends. Lemon meringue, blueberry muffin, orange blossom, who in my opinion had the best smell out of any of the strawberry shortcake dolls. I was a big fan of the orange blossom smell. Huckleberry pie, apricot, lime chiffon. These are all ones we had growing up. So you can take inspiration from so many of the characters, and I'll talk about it a lot more and in more detail and provide links and everything a bit nearer the time. But if you are up for that, please let me know. I was thinking of running it just on Instagram to keep it really super simple for me. But let me know what you think, if that's a problem for you, if you felt like that would really alienate people. I'm not sure. It's a balance between trying to make sure it's accessible to everyone, but at the same time not making it too complicated for me at a very busy time of year. But let me know your thoughts. I can always do a thread if you want to chat, and then the hashtag, and then yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult really, would it? Have I just talked myself out of just doing it on Instagram? And if you can hear my stomach, it just happens all the time. My stomach is noisy. I also wanted to share with you a couple of, oh no, hang on, I've got a prize. I bought a prize especially for this planned strawberry shortcake make-along. I saw it on Etsy when I was looking for something else entirely, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. It was like the universe aligned. So it's from Lizzie Bird Yarns. I've not heard of her before, but there she was on Etsy. She's a UK dyer, Lizzie Bird Yarns, and this is the yarn I chose as a prize. It's called Strawberries and Cream. Couldn't be more perfect. Isn't it lovely? Oh, I really love it. It's so pretty. And if you can hear that jangling, it came with a little bunch of beautiful, cute little stitch markers. Oh, there we go. What have we got? We've got a hot air balloon, a birdie, a fox, a sewing machine, and a flag. What's the flag of? I think it's the US flag. There you go. So that is going to be a prize, and I'll probably try and gather a couple more sort of strawberry themed prizes or summery themed prizes. So that's exciting, isn't it? Would you be up for that? Let me know in the comments. I always love to hear from you, whatever you're thinking, tips, tricks. Right, what else do I want to say in this long rambly end? What else have I bought? Oh yes, I bought some yarn because, you know, I really need more yarn. When I went to the East Anglia Yarn Festival, I stopped by the yarn dispensary, fringe issues, the yarn dispensary stall. And the yarn dispensary is a yarn shop in the market town of Faversham here in Kent. And I saw a skein of yarn and didn't buy it. And then when I was editing it, I saw it again and I was like, oh, I should have bought that. It's really lovely, but I don't really need it. And then Dan and I, for his birthday, went for a really nice day out in Faversham. You can see where this is going. So we popped in to the yarn dispensary and I ended up buying it. I do have a good reason. I don't have a good reason. It's beautiful is reason number one, and that's good enough. Oh, I've got one of my hairs on it. I should say it's by Skein Hawk Yarns. The colour is Lady Macbeth. How perfect a name is that for this colour? I love it. Now, I studied Macbeth as my GCSE English play, and so did Lilia, my eldest daughter. So that's what really, really sort of drew me to it, because I know the play Macbeth probably better than any of the Shakespeare plays. It's 100% superwash merino, so it's not going to be socks. I'm thinking I will make a hat with it, because I think it would just be lovely to have a hat like that. Or even better, but I'm not sure if it would hold up enough, would be mittens, wouldn't it? Because it's out damn spot. Let me know what you think. Would 100% superwash merino stand up okay for mittens or hand warmers? What do you think? Yes, I'm really pleased with that, even though it was a bit naughty to go and buy more yarn. And speaking of buying more yarn, although this is an investment for the future, I'm being a future friend here. I have got my first 3 instalments for my advent calendar. So I did this last year. Suzanne of Green Lampkin Yarns she releases her advent throughout the year in groups of 3. I'm not going to be describing this very well, am I? So you buy 3 every 3 months. So by the time you get to the beginning of December, you have 24. So this year I've gone for 20 gram ones, but she does do an option to have 10 grams as well, which is what I did last year. And the theme this year is Christmas around the world. So I'm really excited for this. So what I'm going to do is what I did last year is I found a really nice Christmassy project bag. I'll probably use the same one. And I kept all of my advent in that bag throughout the year. So it was all nice and neatly together and ready. So I'm going to do the same this year. So I'll put a link to that underneath as well in case you're interested, because it's a really good way of spreading the cost so you barely even notice over the course of a year. And that'll be my one advent, and I will be thrilled to bits with that. It's become a bit of a tradition for me to have one of Suzanne's advents, so I'm really excited. Not that I've made anything with my advents from the year just gone, but I keep thinking about it, and there's just not enough time. There's not enough days in the week, and there's not enough hours in the days. Have I got anything else to talk about? No, just next Christmas jumper update will be coming soon. I'm going to be talking about my yarn, my gauge swatch, the pattern I've chosen, and the project bag I'll be using and getting started. So watch out for that coming soon. Don't forget, April vlogs are going on every day if you can take any more of this. And I will see you again very soon. Until then, happy knitting, happy crocheting. Bye.